Okay. Mm, let's see. Hey, hold on. I'm sending the. There we go. Can you hear me okay? I'm using the laptop. Hey, let's see. Okay, good. Awesome. No, Dad. I'm not taking these out. So I'm just waiting for Scab to come in. Shredder. Awesome. Um, Scab should be coming on. Mm, uh, so the wife behind the knife is it um joining us tonight because she's at work. She's coming home right now, and she she got a flat tire, so she's not in a very good mood right now. So she might pop in to say hi, but that's about it. So if you didn't see yesterday, me and Shield Arms did a live um, together, and we're gonna do that every Monday. Every Monday, we're gonna do it. He's, if you don't know, he's handicapped too, so we have a lot in common. hopefully he comes in. Scab should be coming. What the fuck is up with my hand? It's like a little fan. Hey, Rusty. Um, are you in the wheelchair too? Hold on. Scab want me to send it to his email. There we go. Why did it not send? Hold on. Technical difficulties. Oh, yay. The wife behind the knife is home. Okay. I just sent the email to Choirboyz. So while we wait, like y'all said, I'm carrying the Bentley Kryptonian Mini. Tina says hi.
Hi, Tina.
I love this knife, but I hate it at the same time. I wish I could get the bigger version of this. The beautiful Miss Tina. Hey, Joe. It is a good flicker. Um, I had it for like 2 years now. So you might you might see a baby or two just for the warning. 2-hour bus ride home. Kill me. Oh, Joe.
Can I get up and see if you come here?
Go ahead.
I don't know.
You're not disturbing anyone. You're beautiful. They want to see you. They don't want to look at me the whole time. I'm just laying on
Nice.
Scab. Oh, I can't kiss you because I have Popeyes.
Let's eat a quick dinner. So I can take this.
What's up, Mikey?
Wait,
I'm here. I'm in the show.
I can't hear you.
Huh?
Oh wait, I have
Yeah,
the back.
turn your volume up.
Dummy.
It's all good. It's all good. How are you?
Oh, dandy.
That's good to hear.
I just had a 2-hour bus ride home. So,
2 hours.
yeah.
Is that typical? Hey, Miss
Hi,
Lauren. How are you?
Good.
Hi, pretty lady.
Oh,
Hi.
wait.
Now, is that your typical? Here, let me put the comments on. There we go. All right. Hello to everyone in the
Love you
chat.
guys. I gotta get a shower.
Megatron's out.
Bye, Mikey. Bye, Lauren. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I just got back from work.
Girl, I hear you.
Y'all going?
Whoa.
We're live here.
I'm going. I'm
Dicking
going.
around.
Jeez. Right.
Love you, baby.
Love you too.
Don't like you much, but love you. I'm teasing.
Hurtful.
So tell me about your bus ride home.
Oh,
Let me
it's-
see who's all in here. Now,
It's
is that a typical ride?
most days. So basically, it's like it depends on the people. So they could be like 4 people on the bus, and they can live 10 miles away. So I just gotta sit there and listen to
Yeah.
Play Talk,
There you go.
which
It's a good
I
choice.
do a lot.
I don't blame you. Now is that the same? Is that the same commute in the morning? Is it 2 hours each way, or does it vary?
It varies. It could be like an hour and a half, or 2 hours. The most I spent was 3 hours one time,
Oh wow.
and I gotta pay like $6 a day to go to work.
Really?
So it's a pain in the ass. So
It sounds like it. It
It
sounds
is.
like it. But I'm glad you're home and we're live, and I see everybody in the chat.
Yep.
Hello, chat people.
Joe, Garen,
Jerbs.
BC Jerbs.
How's everybody doing?
Oh, hey, JoJo Jeep.
And JoJo G. So what do we got on tap? Tell me what you want to do in this show.
What I want to do is raise awareness
Okay.
to addiction
Okay.
because a lot of people don't know there's a lot of stigma that comes along with addiction and being a man, or, you know, men don't talk.
Right.
And so basically, I want to get other people's stories out there and show people that, you know, it's normal to feel this way or
Right.
feel that way.
Right.
And if you fall short of addiction, then, you know, you don't got nothing to be embarrassed about.
Well,
So,
I like the concept. I think a couple things. I think one, hello to John Peterson. Let me go ahead and say this. And goes in there, and he'll tell you I'm terrible with comments. So I'm gonna leave the comment looking to you because I'll get distracted. But I want to say a couple things. One is the word stigma. I just went to it was called, I believe it's called Opioid Jacks last week. And they were talking about, and what you find, Mikey, is people who have never been addicted. You know, there's this confusion between addiction and habit. Okay. Because people will say this, well, my grandma smoked for 30 years and she put it down. That's not an addiction. That's a habit. Good for her.
mm-hmm.
But when you talk about addiction, it's nothing that you can control. You're not going to will yourself out of it. Now, for me personally, I have very, very, very strong addictive tendencies. Okay. But I want to make a couple things clear. One, my addiction is not dependent on an oh woe is me thing. Okay. I like getting high. I like going fast. That's just being honest. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, let's be honest.
Right.
The problem becomes this: you get high and you go fast, you don't want to come down. So I got messed, and we can talk about whatever. One of the biggest things I want to talk about is the opioid problem, and I struggled with that, man. And to me, pills are demons, and I took them. And again, and I'll say this over and over and over: when things are tough, I'm at my best. So there's all people have all different stories. Some people get hooked on stuff because they want to forget. Some people get hooked on stuff because they want to remember. Some people like getting high, you know. So I just want to be upfront and clear. You know, there's all different ways to look at things. And I want to say this real quick. Somebody reached out to me today in the community, and I am not going to say who it was, but they said, hey, man, I want you to share this. Okay. This guy's in the community. His son is a pretty good athlete, not really a partier. He'll drink, smoke a little weed. But he was at a party over the weekend, had a little buzz going, and somebody gave him a Norco, you know. And while he's not, he went ahead and snorted it, you know, just partying. The problem was it wasn't a Norco. They had pill pressed fentanyl, and it killed him. Now, they were able to do CPR and kept him alive back to the hospital, and then they gave him some Narcan, and it saved his life. But one thing I do want to bring awareness to everybody: drugs aren't like they used to be. You don't know what you're getting. And fentanyl is and you probably see it in counseling all the time. Counterfeit pills. People have pill presses. This goes back 15, 20 years. I remember people getting hydrocodone powder and making pills. Well, now they're doing it out of fentanyl. And when I went last weekend, I don't know if y'all can see that. If you are around an addict, you probably need some of this. It's Narcan. It can save your life. This is just an inhaler. It's got 2 doses in it. It's a good thing to have. Maybe we can, Mikey, maybe we can provide some links. I've got a couple things here. The other thing is, for those of you who might be caretakers or may have medication in your house, you live with an addict, you don't want the medication around. They gave us these things right here. Deterra. Have you seen these, Mikey?
No,
Basically what you do is you tear it open, you pour the medicine in, put water in it, seal it up, and it kills the medicine. These are good to have too. And it's just a good way to get rid of stuff. But as far as like my addiction, like with pills, I loved them. You know, whether it was Vicodin, Loracets, hydrocodone, and you know, you could take them and drink all day, do everything all day. The problem again for me was never, oh my God, I got to have it. The problem for me was because I got up, I've said this often, I'm probably one of the world's most functioning addicts. I went to work every day. I didn't miss work. But what would begin to happen is, you know, take pills to party, do whatever. Well, then, you know, you stay up late one night and you're like, well, shit, I'll take a Loracet on the way to work, be up, ready to go. Before you know it, you got 2 Loracets by your bed and you're popping 2 before your feet ever hit the floor. Now, I was blessed enough to kind of back out of that before like Roxy's and Oxys and things like that really took hold. Like hydrocodone, I loved oxycodone, and it probably just the cosmos, the good Lord. Oxycodone I couldn't do in huge doses. So that's just, you know, that's one of those things. But if there's anything you want to ask or anything you want to know, ask.
So let me say this. If you don't feel like sharing anything, let me know.
I will.
Yeah. I'm a real big what you call it? Stickler on that. So let's take it back to when you first did drugs. How did that come about?
I've always, that's a good question. And there's, you know, I grew up, my dad's a preacher. I had an awesome childhood. I really did. Played sports, did all that. But I've always had a little bit of a rebellious side, a little bit of an outlaw side. And so I didn't really start doing all that stuff till, you know, 19, 20, 21 years old. I was out and about. And then for a long time, I held everything in check because I got married the first time. I was a father at 19. So a lot of that, man, I held in check until, you know, now I would drink here and there. Well, I drank a good bit. But really, man, about 27, 26, 27, 28, when that marriage was falling apart and I was stepping out, you know, on my own, and I worked in bars. You can get whatever you want in a bar. And it's not some exciting life. Most of the time, 90%, 99% of the time, in a bar is pretty damn boring, especially if you're bouncing. But I remember, man, when I got divorced, I just kind of stepped over and stepped off and tried everything I wanted to try. and liked it. Whether my things, and I'll say this up front, my things have always been like cocaine and pills. Okay. I did smoke weed. I've got no problem with weed. I don't give a shit about weed. And for everybody in the chat, what I will say to y'all is this. If you smoke weed, if you drink, if you do any of that, that's, you do you, man. Moderation's the key. The problem with old Scab is this. I don't believe in moderation. Just to tell you how my mind works, I can't go out. Now, I'm not saying this, I'm telling you how I think. Going out to have a beer to me is stupid. If you're going to drink. That's my philosophy. That's not a good philosophy at all. I wished I could go have a beer, but here's what happens with me. I'll go have a beer too. I don't really like beer, so that turns into liquor. Okay. A couple drinks of liquor. Now we want to drink all night long. So now we're going to make a phone call, and whether it's pills or Coke or whatever. So for me, I have to know my triggers. You know what I'm saying? I have to, and there are times I'll be 1000% honest with you. Again, it's not in the hard times. It's when I got money in my pocket and everything's going good. And some people say, oh, it's self-fulfilling, and it might be. Scared of success. I'll just step off, but that's really, I'd say, Mikey, I've always had that kind of tendency, but once I got divorced and my ex-wife and my son were in Alabama, now I'm, here all by myself. So it was off to the races. And the pills was probably 5 or 6 years daily, probably 10, I'd say average 10 to 15 Lorcets a day. There were days that we were at the bar, it'd be 15 to 20. And just hammer it. And Coke, the thing with Coke is one of the reasons, and this is not an advocation of cocaine, but one of the reasons I did like cocaine is you didn't really feel, with a pill, once you get hooked. And I'll say this too, taking pills, just kind of partying. I'll never forget the first time I got dope sick. I was at work. I woke up one morning, was out of pills. It's been fun. I'll wait till the weekend and get some more. Now, again, ignorance is no excuse. So I go to work that morning went in at 7, about 9:30, I started feeling like I had the flu. And I'm like, this is odd. And so I went in the back and I basically sat in a chair and slept most of the day. And I felt like I had a fever. And so a friend of mine called and said, are you coming up? I said, man, I'm sick. And he goes, I described the symptoms. He said, come up to the bar. So I did. I said, dude, I don't feel like doing this. And he handed me 2 Lorcets. He said, tell me. I said, dude, he said, just take them. Within 30 minutes, I was fine. He said, you're dope sick. And I said, what? And then he kind of explained to me, what that was. And so I should have, anybody with any sense at that point would have called in to work a day or two. Because at that point, and I'll say this for everybody, if you're on pills a couple weeks, yes, you can get addicted. So talk to your doctor. But if you start, if you don't have your pills, because I can tell you this, if like I'd run out of pills, going back to the doctor, they're not going to prescribe you more. They're not there to help you. Most of them are not. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's an ongoing issue, if you have ongoing health issues, if you, in a wreck, they're going to hand you pill after pill after pill after pill after pill. It's my choice to take them. And that's the other thing I want to stress. Okay. There's no victim here. It's my choice to take them. But in my mind, I was like, I should have stopped. But in my mind, I said, man, I didn't know how long it would last. And again, I like to feel up. I like to ride high. So we just keep buying. And I'll say this too. I've worked 2 jobs since I was 22 years old. So dude, there's no telling and I'm just being honest, there's no telling the money that I've wasted on drugs. So I was, yeah, JoJo, and for all of you out there, if I can encourage you, when they hand you pills, if you can get away without it. Now, some of this crap, man, sometimes we get so easy. It's so easy to point fingers. It's their fault. It's their fault. It's the medical field. It's these people. It's that. At the end of the day, I remember that day, Mikey. I had, and I was a lot bigger than I am now. And I mean, now I've never been Mr. Olympia, but I was in shape. Probably weighed 260, 270, power lifted weights. And from that day forward, I made that choice. I was going to party. I was going to, so you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful, and you got to know your body.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started for me.
Yeah, if anyone wants to see a good example of that, go on Netflix and watch the show called The Pharmacist.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Pharmacist. It's a real good show, and they show you like a doctor abusing the prescriptions.
That happened here.
Yeah.
I had a friend who, and to touch on something JoJo said, he went from pills to a 5-year heroin addiction. When everybody, I don't know if everybody remember, but there was a time where, do you remember the term doctor shopping, Mikey? Doctor shopping. People were coming to Florida to get pills. Essentially,
I don't remember.
okay, essentially what would happen, because we had what they called pill mills, and this happened from all over the United States. People came from literally, they would fly, say you would fly in, you and Lauren, just as an example, say you had, a script for Loracets. Lauren had a script for Loracets. Or say you had some MRIs. Hey, I've been in a wreck, or just your normal health. Hey, and you go to these pain clinics and hand them your x-rays. They're going to give you 90 to 120 Lortabs, Loracets, Oxy, whatever. They're probably going to give you some Xannies. And for some reason, they give you Adderall. Okay, you get your script. But what would then happen, Mikey, is people would go from pill mill to pill mill to pill mill to pill mill. Now what they've done is, and this happened for a couple of years, they had 5 and 6 different people filling their scripts. So when you go back, you've got a couple thousand pills. Okay. That was happening, and I knew people who did it. I've got friends of mine who literally had a doctor's prescription pad. We got all we wanted. The problem is this. When when everybody comes in and everybody's going to be a hero, and they're just going to shut that shit down. And boy, aren't we something, man, we shut them. What you've done is you've left thousands and thousands of addicts with nowhere to turn. Okay. So let's cut the hero shit. And then, just like in JoJo's situation, I'll never forget this. I had an acquaintance, not a friend. He was an acquaintance, and he was a dangerous, dangerous man. I didn't realize that till after he passed. He brought in black tar heroin. I'll never forget this. And this was 2-3 months before they shut down the pill mills. He brought in black tar heroin. And one day I was looking, because I was getting a 8-ball from him. I said, man, what's that? He said, you want no? I said, I'm just asking you. He said, it's heroin, Scab. I said, what? He said, it's heroin. He goes, he had a friend high up in the ATF in Florida. He said, they're fixing to shut those pill mills down. We found a way to make heroin recreational, which means you snort it. That's what it means. And he was already taking that, processing it. And so what would happen is you would spend $150, $200 a day on pills just to make sure you didn't shit you sell. Okay. So when they cut them pills out, man, but it was easy because guys stepped up and said, hey, listen, try this, do a line of this. It's a $20 bag. And even if people went, well, it's heroin. No. We made it where you can snort it. And that $20 bag would then last because it's your first time doing it for a few days. But just like everything else, your body builds a tolerance. So before long, you're doing just as much heroin because opioids derive from heroin. And you got places like Baltimore and Boston and Jacksonville and all these places where pill mills were king now are heroin epicenters. What do you do?
It's just like when the pandemic hit, every liquor store closed down. And what happened to alcoholics?
Murphy shut the bars down and the liquor stores down, but then he reopened them. I think someone might have just said to him, no, we don't do that.
Yeah,
But they were shut down at first in the beginning.
So, I see this in a lot of people nowadays. Are you the type of person that goes 1 to 100 real quick?
Yes.
Like, there's no in between.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why if you look, and Joe said we should let Eric in. If you can send Eric Hussein a link, because Eric's battled this as well. But here's the thing, Mikey, to answer your question, there's no, like, if you watch my channel, and if you watch my channel, you'll see times where, dude, it's 2 and 3 videos of just a day, and it's that manic side. It's that I have to do something. That's when, and then I might skip a few days, but typically from me, you're going to see a lot of activity. It's just that manic, let's go. If that answers your question. Yes, I go from 0 to 100. There's no middle ground with me. But again, and I cannot stress this enough. We talk about, and they talked about in that seminar, they said this a lot. They use the word stigma. And what usually happens is when people view addicts, they have this idea of what an addict is. Well, what you're seeing is the end result. You're not seeing where it started. See? So you're seeing someone at their lowest. And here's another thing, and I've even said this, but people say most addicts are highly intelligent. Okay. And most are. They get bored. The problem with that is simply this. I do believe that, but I also believe that most of the people that are addicts really aren't that driven or have no direction. So my thing is this, like I just said, if I don't have a direction where I want to create, I'm going to do something. Does that make sense? So in a lot of sense, and I appreciate you so much having me on, in a lot of sense, when I say like this YouTube thing saved my life, that's not a joke, man. That's not. And I laugh. People say, oh, I'm addicted still. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. That has its place. It's not here.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't begin to fathom. And here's the other thing with addicts. Here's what we as addicts don't understand. The hell we're putting everybody through around us because we're addicts. And 9 times out of 10, when you're in the middle of that shit, it's self-absorption. It's, woe is me type bullshit. We make excuses for everything. We can justify everything. We think we're smarter than everybody. I look back sometimes and just go, dear God, no wonder certain people don't want to be around anymore. And I'll say this too, and then I'll turn it back over to you. For those of you in the chat, and Eric Hussein can vouch for this probably, and Mikey, you can, and JoJo, and you guys who've done this. People ask me, well, Scab, what are some signs? Here's a few. If people always need money for a light bill, that's a big, hey man, I need this. And at first they'll pay you back. But if you start noticing people need money left and right, but they can justify it, or you're trying to get an answer and you just get this crazy ass story and you're like, okay. And what happens the further you go in addiction, the crazier they get. If you got family members or loved ones who spend all their time in the bathroom and they don't have any gastric problems, that's a sign. Seriously. If you're just in a, and how can you help? How can you reach out? Well, you're the one to answer that. So I'll turn it back to you.
So I can vouch for that because one of my family members is an addict, and it was always, oh, I need money for this, I need money for that. But really, it was for drugs. So my next question is, when you was going through your addiction, how did your family react to you?
Before you do that, I want to address Jersey Knife Guy. He brings up Suboxone, and he's on 2 8-milligram tabs a day. That's a lot of Suboxone. And brother, that's hard. That's as hard, if not harder, to get off of than anything. Do you have any experience with Suboxone?
No, unfortunately, where I work, we don't work with that.
Okay.
So
I mean, I use that, and I still, it's one of the hardest things to kick. It's that's harder to get off than the pills. Now you're normal, you act normal. It's a blocker, but to Jersey Knife Guy, man, I'm with you on that, dude. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough.
yeah, we have clients that are on like Suboxone and what's the other one?
Subutex.
Methadone, yeah.
Well, yeah, but see, here's what's interesting about methadone. I know folks down here who take methadone because you can take methadone and still take other drugs.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with methadone. How did my family react? None of them are stupid. Nobody's stupid. Anybody's stupid. Just there's a lot of wasted years there. That one's tough, the thing I want to address with that, and to those of you who have people in addiction, you said when you were going through, I fight addiction every day of my life. That's just the truth. Some days are better than others. I've been clean for a while now, but it's an everyday thing. And if you're not on point, if you're not creating, if you're not, and when I say create, I'm not talking about everybody's answers YouTube. It could be whittling, it can be painting, it can be writing, it can be talking. You have to, dude, there's times I'm telling you that I'll be driving home and look around and go, what the hell am I doing? And turn around and go, take my ass home. It's a daily fight because I was on the way. It's a daily fight. It really is. It doesn't stop. And it doesn't matter how much you love somebody. You can't quit for somebody. You can't do it. If you quit because you love somebody, you're going to break their fucking heart, because it ain't going to happen. When you're talking about addiction, it's not a matter, you choose to start it, but once you're in it, you know, and I have millions of thoughts on that. You know, you hurt the ones around you, and it's not just financial hurt. People aren't stupid. And I look back, and again, especially now the Coke stuff, and again, not glorifying or justifying Coke or anything like that, but Coke you can kind of walk away from, you know. But with the opioids, it's just like, gotcha. Now here's your choices. You can DT and you can do all that. And you can feel like shit for a week, or you can just go get more and carry on like normal. The problem is you run out of money. And if you cross over into heroin or oxys or anything, you run out of money. You know, that's what you do. And I think we have to turn a light on it. And I think, you know, a lot of stuff, man, the perception you give out is important. I think as an addict, I think that and this is just my thought, I feel like a personal responsibility to show to Megan, to my parents, to my son, to these two people I care about daily, I'm in this fight. I don't know how Megan did it. I'm just being honest with you, because I was a fucking dick, and pardon the language.
Right.
I was worried about me, and I can be what y'all see. I try to be every day. I try to be what I am is what I am. But when you're in that, man, and really when you're in it, it takes that slap in the face moment to even try. Because if you don't want, and I'm saying this, and I'm not trying to tie up all the time, but I do want to say this. This is going to sound like weird, but until you're ready to say, I need help, and until you really want to quit, you're not quitting. And the truth is, just wanting to quit isn't enough. Once you get sucked in so far, it's not enough. But you got to want to first. I know that sounds weird. You have to want to first, but wanting to is not enough. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Very. So I want to address Jersey Knife Guy. He said the doctors don't want me to quit because it's a money thing. So I get that. But if that's the case, then you need a new doctor. So because my doctor wanted me to take painkillers because I'm always in pain. But I did it for one time, and it was the best feeling. I was on cloud nine. Like I had no worries. I had no depression, no anxiety, and I told myself that like this isn't normal. I should feel anxiety. So from that day, I knew I had to what's it called? Pre
Predisposition.
predip. Yeah, I can't see
You're predisposed because of your
the
family member.
yeah. I was predisposed to addiction, and same with alcohol. Like I can drink alcohol, but if I don't stop myself once that buzz gets going, I'm feeling good. A little bit more, then I'm off to the races.
Yeah.
So,
I've been there, Jersey knife guy. I know what you're feeling.
yeah, my heart goes out to you, Jersey Knife Guy.
One of the things is that, and we've mentioned this word several times, and I will say this, like when it comes to Suboxone or Subutex or anything like that, it's easier down here to go get a script of Loracets or Percocets or Xannies or whatever than it is to get a script of Suboxone. You get questioned, you get vilified, and it's like, look, I'm trying to get off. I'm trying to get off this shit, you know. And I do think there is a push there from pharma, big pharma. I think there's a push there, but I think that's also where we have to, like you said, you got to find the right doctor, you know. But that right doctor, I mean, it has to be, because they have to be with you. When you get, like with Jersey Knife Guy talking about 10 years high, that goes back to wanting to, but not, he can't just will himself off of that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, at 2 8 milligram Suboxone a day, the thing about Suboxone is it's cumulative. So the first week you get off, you're not going to feel great, but it's once everything's out your system, you go full blown DTs, dude. It's, you got to have that right, you know, wean down, and it sucks, but that's tough, man. That's tough.
So, I have 3 more questions for
I'm
you.
ready for them. Fire away.
It's all good.
Fire away.
So, you know, when people say addiction is a mental disease, do you believe it's a mental disease? Or
Brother, that's one I struggle with. And when I started this channel and I started talking about addiction, I spoke on this a couple times. And again, for everybody listening or watching that may watch, these are personal feelings. I don't like calling it a disease, because to me, when you call it a disease, you put it in this nice little box and you hand it out. And it's so much more than a little box that you hand out. There are people, and I'm not going to say anything who's right. I'm not about who's wrong. And this ain't about keeping people happy. I literally struggle with that, because to me, and this is my mentality, and if you don't understand me, then you won't understand what I'm saying. And I don't expect everybody to understand me. I'm not going to give anything power over me. Okay. It may have it, but I'm not admitting it. So I know that's kind of a dodgy question, but I want y'all to know I'm not trying to evade it. I will say this. I think the more that we go and the more that we understand, there's going to be some mental health. There has to be a little bit of mental health issues there to have it. I do believe that. I believe there's something somewhere, but I just keep going back to, it's my choice to go pick up a beer. It's my choice to go do a line. It's my choice to go do a hot rail. It's my choice to take a pill. You know, I did steroids for 30 years. I wasn't physically addicted to them, but you hit some tests, man, and you feel like Superman and you feel indestructible. There's that mental thing, and more is better, you know? So what I'm saying is this: everything I do in every facet of life is extreme. So that, yeah, there has to be some kind of little mental thing there, but I'm not ready. I think there is some deep down, some mental health stuff, but I'm just not, I'll on that one, I'll just say, I don't believe it is for me.
Okay.
Next one.
Did you, and you don't have to go into details about it if you don't want to, but did you ever hit rock bottom?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Would you?
It's hard to explain. Before I started the channel, and some folks that Tina would know and some other people would know, I spent, I'd say, several years waiting to die. I didn't give a shit anymore. I was just ready to go. And some of that, you know, was weight. Weighing 350 pounds. I'm only some bitch on this planet that can do cocaine and blow up to 350 pounds. But, and I want to say this too, if you have a legitimate health problem, and some people do, some people have to take pain medication. That's the sad reality. They have to. They have to live. And I understand that, but I want everybody to understand that. The health problems I have and the hurt that I have, drug use created. I have a huge heart. I have a heart the size of a soccer ball. I did that, you know. Probably took a decade off my life. It's hard to get up and walk in the morning. I did that. So, yeah.
I'm glad you're still here.
Me too. And we're moving on.
Still kicking ass.
We're gonna move forward. Well, and that's part of losing the weight. That's, you know, losing the weight, doing the right things to try to stay in the fight. You know,
and I want to say congratulations on weight loss and a new job.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's why leaving Home Depot is honestly, it's a little bittersweet. And now I despise the schedule, and so I'm so excited for the schedule. You know, but I got married for a reason, and we've been together 17 years. I like seeing Megan. We've worked together. We've been around each other. We hang out. We get along. And these past few months have just sucked. So I'm totally excited to go back to, you know, Monday through Friday, have my weekends off, have my nights off. I'm excited about all that. I'm nervous though. I'm going to have to, you know, really up the exercise, because honestly, one thing about Home Depot, if you don't believe anything else, you can believe this: they work you. You know, I mean, but it's been great for me. So it's bittersweet, but I'm ready to get on the schedule. And thank you. So we'll keep up the weight loss and we'll keep moving forward.
That's awesome.
You got one more for me.
I had to think about it again. Give me a second. I'll see the comments.
I know that you were on with Shield Arms yesterday.
Yeah.
And he said he had got up to 550 pounds. I was reading that here and just looking through all of these comments, it's crazy what all we have in common, you know, and how knives and steel and all that stuff brings people together and come a long way. And it's awesome.
So
That's
I'll
awesome.
remember my question.
We'll fire away.
So if you have one last message to an addict, what would it be?
One last message. Never quit quitting.
There you go.
That's all it can be.
I love that. Do you get a lot of hate for that?
No.
No.
No. No. You know, I have been super blessed. I get some heat, but not over that. And Tina, who's in the comments and a huge supporter of everybody. Everybody knows her husband, E, was my best friend. He passed last year. His dad, Freddie, who's salt of the earth, is the one who gave me that saying, never quit quitting. And it stuck. And that'd be my message. Never quit quitting. Because you're always going to fight that fight. Keep your head in there.
I wish I could have met him. He sounded like a really good dude.
He was an awesome dude.
Awesome
guy.
So I want to say thank you for coming on. I don't want to keep you from your beautiful wife. So
thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this, man. This is awesome. I think I think looking at the comments, I think you got a lot of folks you can have on the recovery's edge.
Yeah, if anyone want to come on, shoot me a message and I'll have you on anytime.
Love you, Salty, and I love you, Mikey. I see this doing big things.
I love you too, and I never felt so welcomed in the community before, so, and you made it a better place for the community. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
You're part of
this community. You are part of this community. You're not an outsider. You're part of this community. And you're a big part. That. And I better say goodnight before I get in trouble. I love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Hey, I love y'all. Thank you for everybody for joining. I'm Scab, and I'm gone, son.
Gone. So, thank you everyone for watching. like I said before, if anyone want to come on here and share their story, please send me a message. I'll have you on. And I said it before, I don't expect you to share whatever you don't want to, because that's a real big thing in my world. So I guess this is a good night. I love you, Salty. I love you, everyone. Tomorrow is gonna be recovery with Tina, the beautiful Tina, and the beautiful wife behind the knife. So, this is my wife. So, I'm gonna take a shower because I need one. So, I love all of you. I don't even have the energy to do my little speech. Salty, get with me. Bookie said bye. Daddy kisses.
No, he wants mama kisses.
Salty, I'm gonna message you and get you on. I love all of you. Good night. Good day. And thank you for watching.
Woo!